Hello, Pisces. Welcome back to Pisces Holistic Living and Healing with Natalie. I am here today. We're going to pull an oracle card for you. We're going to meditate on this. We're going to welcome in our high vibrational ancestors. We're going to welcome in high vibrational spirits and higher beings to come and give us a message today. This is a holistic healing channel, so we're healing everything, which means we're healing our body, mind, and spirit while we're here, Pisces. And part of that is taking care of our health. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about detoxing. We make detoxing such a complicated thing. Sometimes we think we have to go out and we have to go buy special detoxing. Detoxing can be as simple as cutting something out of your diet, because eating whole foods is good for your body. But to get there with the kind of diet that we eat here, this standard American diet that we have, when you go to the store and you buy food and you look at the packaging, there's all this stuff. There are dyes and there are all types of things in our food. Detoxing starts with starting to remove things that are these synthetic things that we're putting in our body, and slowly going back to moving towards eating whole foods, because that is what's going to start to heal us. And if you are diabetic, if you have heart disease, if you have hormone issues, all of these issues can be helped by doing this. I was listening to someone today and they were saying how red dye is linked to ADHD and autism in kids. Can you imagine, as parents, we're eating these synthetic foods, these processed foods that have red dyes in them? A lot of candy for kids have red dyes, and a lot of foods have these synthetic, this FD&C red. I don't know, whatever the FD&C color is for, whatever the number is for red. I don't know what it is, but whatever. They're toxins, and there's been research done to show that they can be linked to ADHD and autism, but yet it continues to be used in the food. It should be illegal. It should be illegal. The preservatives and things that my challenge for you is to jot down for me in the comments below and let me know what one thing will you take away from your diet. For me this week, it's going to be coffee. And as we start to remove things from our diet and you learn a little bit more and you remove something else, you start to find out, for example, I switched to getting organic coffee and grinding it myself because I found out that when you buy coffee from the store, sometimes there's mold in the coffee. The coffee's old. You don't even know how long it's been sitting in the warehouse. And so you don't know what you're getting. And sometimes you can get sick from that and not even realize that you're having allergy symptoms. You might have rashes or things that are going on with you that are related to that, but you don't even realize, because you don't actually see the mold in the coffee grinds, right? But the coffee grounds are in the warehouse for so long that it does grow mold. Well, now that I'm on a healing journey, part of my journey is weight loss, and I just recently found out drinking coffee dehydrates us. And if you're on a weight loss journey and you have a lot of weight to lose, if you're trying to lose a lot of weight and you don't want to have loose skin, you shouldn't be drinking coffee, because it will dehydrate you and cause you to have loose skin. Because it's dehydrating, and because of the loose skin issue that can occur, I don't want to be dehydrated. So in order to stay hydrated, I'm going to be cutting out the coffee and drinking tea instead in the morning. So drop me a comment down below and let me know what one thing it is for you. Is it going to be sugar? Or maybe there's a processed food that you're buying. Maybe if you're eating at McDonald's, you're gonna give up that McDonald's breakfast. I don't know. You decide what it is for you, because the healing journey starts somewhere, right? And the healing journey doesn't have to be absolute, which means you don't have to do everything all at one time. Your healing journey needs to be a sustainable journey. I wasn't ready to give up coffee, so I found a better alternative to drinking the coffee at the store, which was healthier. But now I have a different goal for my health journey, which means I can stop altogether. I can make a decision to stop altogether. And I didn't have to do it cold turkey. I was able to do some other things and clean up one thing at a time. So, what I'm saying is that if you have a cupboard full of processed foods, you need to start by picking out one or two things within that cupboard that you're going to eliminate and that you're not going to buy anymore. I have to tell you, the big thing for me was sugar. I'm going to go ahead and talk about sugar because sugar is a poison as far as I'm concerned. And because sugar keeps you addicted to eating foods that are not healthy for you, it keeps you coming back for more. When you eat sugars and simple carbohydrates, if you eat a lot of them, especially when they're processed, they keep you wanting to come back for more. I don't know if it's that you don't feel full. Your body is full, but you don't feel satisfied. That hormone in your body that triggers you to say, hey, I'm full, I'm done, I don't want to eat anymore, does not get triggered. And so for me, the biggest thing to decrease inflammation in my body was to get rid of the sugar. So I used stevia. And yes, that's processed also, but it was a better alternative to the sugar. The only time I use the stevia is in the morning. And this is speaking only of added sugar. When you start taking a look at the packages of food that you buy, they add a lot of salts and sugars to make them taste better. Meanwhile, we're wondering, why are we gaining so much weight? Why can't we lose weight? Why are we diabetic? Why do we have heart disease? Why is our cholesterol level out of control? That's why. If you buy a lot of processed foods, so that means that you're buying a lot of food in the middle of the aisles at the grocery store. Go to your cupboard. After this video, go to your cupboard and take a look. You'll see. Look at the package. Almost all of them have processed white flours and sugars. I might put a link to a spreadsheet that in the description box below that has a list of the different names for sugar, because it could be they don't label it as sugar, they label it as maltodextrose, dextrose, sucrose, fructose. All of those things are sugar, added sugar that they're putting in your food to make it more flavorful so that you will want to keep coming back and buy it, because if they didn't put those things in those processed foods, you wouldn't even need it. You wouldn't even want to buy it. So they have to do something to keep you coming back and to keep buying these unhealthy foods, as opposed to going to the fruit and vegetable aisle and getting some fruits and vegetables to eat. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you will be removing from your diet this week. I would love to know. For me, it's going to be coffee. No coffee for me this week. And I can let you know how that goes. So, okay, let's meditate on this and let's pull a card. This is from my card deck. It's called Whispers of Healing Guidebook by Angela Hartfield. I love it. It's so pretty. So we're going to see what message the Spirit Ancestor guys have for you today. What message is there for Pisces today? Okay, Spirit. What healing message do we have for Pisces today? We have two. Boundaries and acceptance. I love it. 0. 5 is change. A lot of heart and third eye energy. I'm going to read the book for you. Look, she's holding a peacock. And the peacock has a coin. It's holding a coin. Look. She has some abundance coming. And look, there's a... I don't know if there's a... maybe a mother here with her child. And this is almost like the fairy. And then there's a child. I don't know if you can see that. Here. In the road. And look at this. I don't know, Pisces, I don't know if you can see this. It's almost like this card was made for you. Do you see that? There's a fish here, like swimming right here. So it's almost as if there's a boundary between the ocean and the earth, right? In the heavens. There are boundaries, but the lines are blurred. When you don't have boundaries, your lines get blurred. And so you can't tell. You have to look a little bit closer to see where the boundary is, right? See, there's a fish here. We know that fishes don't live on land, right? They live on water. People don't live in the water. They live on land. And your spirit guides, they're in the ethers. You have to create clear boundaries in your life so that you don't all of a sudden walk and fall over into the sea. You think you're walking on land, and next thing you know, you're on water and you weren't ready for that. And now you find yourself drowning because maybe you didn't learn how to swim before you got in the water, or you got caught off guard. Or you get to the edge of the cliff and now you find yourself free falling because you didn't notice that there was a boundary there. Let's read that card. Boundary. Bam. Oh, number 50. Boundaries. Oh, and it's not. See, I thought it was a coin. I can see it better here. It's a clock. Strong boundaries are necessary for you now. Decide what you do and don't want in your life. In regards to your healing, this is more practical than you might realize. If others are interfering with your well-being or impinging on your ability to care for yourself, take notice and make the needed changes. Imagine digging a moat and creating an impermeable border around your body, your home, or your workspace to create the space you need. You have gone through a tremendous period where many aspects of your life have been altered. It is imperative to honor your limitations and acknowledge that you need to take better care of yourself. People might mean well, but miss the cues when you aren't up for long visits or extensive phone calls. You don't need to make excuses. Let others know you are making changes to better support your energy and healing. A woman holding a peacock stands next to a distinctive boundary. See that? Notice the maidens on the other side of this boundary. The presence of the maidens may signify the level of commitment you have toward your new resolve in your self-care. Wisteria is draped around the background. Wisteria represents a time of learning. It is important to put yourself first. Your true friends and family will respect your boundaries you put in space. Exactly, Pisces. As you're going on your healing journey, can you imagine when I started telling people that I don't eat sugar anymore? That's when everyone wants to offer you sugar. I said, I'm not drinking anymore right now. Everybody's offering you alcohol. So you need to set clear boundaries, and you don't have to explain yourself, but the boundaries need to be clear for you so that you can make the changes that you need to heal. And sometimes part of that boundary is just doing. and not say anything to anyone. Sometimes you need to share, and knowing when to share and when not to share. For example, when you tell someone that you're on a diet, for instance, you tell your family you're on a diet, every time you eat something, you might get approached with with comments from your family members. Oh, is that your diet food? But if you don't tell anyone that you're on a diet and you just switch up what you're doing, they may notice, but the comments won't be there because the comments are disruptive to your health. If they are disruptive to your health, if you don't mind, then that's on you. But to me, I felt like that's disruptive. So some things I didn't share because it was not necessary, because the changes I was making was for myself. So there was no need to announce to everyone that this is what I was doing. But at the same time, I had to know what my boundaries were. So, like, let's say I was going out to a restaurant, then I would have to predetermine. I didn't wait till I got to the restaurant to find out what everybody else was going to eat. I would predetermine what I want, what I would check out the menu for the restaurant we were going to, and I already knew when I got there. So it was like seamless. It makes it seamless. So you'd make little switches for yourself so that you can make keeping your boundaries a lot easier. And I noticed that the peacock's holding a watch. It's a like a stopwatch or some type of a timer. It's like a little clock. It looks like the old fashioned stopwatch. Boundaries with your time. Also, like the book says, so many times we think that we have to be available whenever everyone wants, like and people can just call us whenever whenever they please, and they're supposed to have access to us. We get to decide when we give access to people. And so those are boundaries, right? And if you haven't done it before, you may find that you get resistance from people. So you have to be clear and without feeling like you have to explain or feeling shame or feeling awkward. And it might feel awkward to you at first, but the more you do it, the more you set those boundaries with people, the more they will come to respect them because they will know it's not acceptable. And an example I have of this is that we had mentioned to family members that we get invited to a lot of parties and we don't really like to go out to parties. We don't like to go out to crowds. And so we would tell them like, no, we're not want we're not interested in going to the parties or to the club or whatever was going on for the weekend and that everyone else was doing. Of course, people shame and they make comments that, oh, what's wrong with you guys? Your guys are antisocial. So we just, we, my husband and I, we just decided that we cut out like all activities for a long time with people and just made it known that no, we're hermits. We don't go out. Just because we needed to set the clear boundary with people that it's when we say if there's something that we want to do, then we will do it. And if it's not in our best interest first and foremost, then we're not going to do it. Then the answer is no. And although it did cause a ruckus, but eventually everybody had to align, right? Because if the people in your life love you, they will have to align with what's in your best interest. It doesn't make sense for someone to tell you they love you and then want you to do something that's not in your own best interest just because it suits them. Okay, so the next card here is acceptance, which I love too, and more fishies. I love it. More fishies and fairies. Look at her. She's riding the wave. And she's got her. Look at the moon. It's beautiful. This is definitely a Pisces card. It's definitely a Pisces card all the way. Acceptance. So, part of acceptance, I feel, I'm going to read the card, but part of acceptance, I feel, for you, Pisces, is accepting what you don't know, because I see the moon here. And just accepting who you are, accepting the unknown that is to come based on the choices that you're making for yourself and the boundaries that you're setting, and not letting anyone shake you, becoming unshakable in the acceptance of yourself, you know, and just closing your eyes and riding the wave and trusting in spirit that you're being guided to the right place. Let's see. That's at 49. Let's read that. Though not easy, it is important to start accepting how you feel. Pain, illness, discomfort, work, stress, miscommunication, and poor timing are all part of life. Accepting how you feel right now is the first step toward healing. Being in physical or emotional pain can put you on edge. You may be angry that you must face a challenge. You may feel down because you don't understand why something is happening to you. Accepting what is going on may help you identify the root cause of your disappointment. You can then explore options and determine your preferred outcome. So, this is basically accepting that things happen for us even when we don't like it, and things are not happening to us, right? Because when you accept that something is happening for you, you can make a decision that you can decide at that point that you how you're going to deal with what's happening, right? If you just dig your head in the sand and you ignore the stress, you ignore the discomfort, you ignore the pain, that's when illness sets in. And before you know it, you're super ill before you even realize it. You have all types of things going on you've disregarded, and the challenge then becomes greater. For me, I ignored. I had inflammatory issues building up and building up and building up, and it was not huge, but over time it got really bad. And so it's taken me almost 4 years to heal the inflammatory issues I have. So, or I had, I should say. And I still keep a conscious eye on it because I know that some of the habits and some of the things that happen that I may still have in my circle can lead to that. So now I'm mindful that if I do something that might cause, or let's say I eat something that might cause some inflammation, that I'm immediately flushing out my body the next day. Let's say I have a party and I'm drinking wine and I'm having cheese, and these are all inflammatory things that you're putting in your body. So I know the next day I've already set a boundary and made and said, okay, I'm going to partake, but tomorrow I will detox, right? I'm not going to partake day in and day out and ignore the fact that there's an inflammatory process that is occurring within my body because of this. And many times we ignore our emotional pain and we project onto others. We project our pain onto others when we are not accepting because we want to blame someone else for what's happening instead of stepping back, taking a look and seeing what is going on, accepting our part in how this has all manifested, because anything that manifests in your life comes from within. So there's a part that you have played, whether it's that you didn't set boundaries, whether it's that you allowed other people to behave certain ways without setting those boundaries, or whether it's that maybe you were overgiving and now there's the aftermath of that, and so you're resentful and you want to blame someone else, but there's a part that you played. So it's acceptance helps you find balance. So accepting a situation does not mean agreeing with it, but it can help you come to a sense of peace. Consider your beliefs concerning a higher source of power. Acknowledging something as part of your spiritual development can help you move towards acceptance. Trust there is a divine plan in place that will guide you through each challenge. Reinforcing your spiritual beliefs will enable you to turn your problem over to the universe. Once you let go, the move into acceptance will happen with ease. Yeah, so that means that you stop trying to control everything. Sometimes you accept, right? A fairy rides on two flying fish while a huge wave bears down on her. Her head is back, her eyes are closed, and she looks unworried and carefree. She is completely surrendered and at peace. Flying fish symbolize the ability to be emotionally free and uninhibited. How great would that be? The fairy is aware the wave could wash her over her at any moment. Yes, she does not care. She is at peace with the situation and accepts she cannot control what has or will happen. Likewise, you may choose to accept a situation. So exactly, when you completely surrender to a situation, you become emotionally free. And how does that happen? Because when you surrender to a situation, you no longer care what other people think about you or about what has happened or about what will happen. When we don't accept and we're projecting onto others and we're blaming others, it's because we care what other people might think about us or what we want to do. And if we're setting a boundary and if we've made a decision to change something about our health and the people around us haven't made a decision to change things about their health, they may not be comfortable about that, but their discomfort is not your problem. Their discomfort is not your problem. And when you let go and you accept what is and how they are and what you want to do, it's easier to set those boundaries, and you all of a sudden you feel free because it does not matter what anyone thinks. It's not, and let me just put this in there. I don't think setting boundaries is not about like causing pain for anybody else, right? Setting boundaries is about um, taking care of ourselves and making sure that the things that we're doing and we're partaking in are for our greater good. Because if you are doing things for the not for your not that are not for your greater good and for the but for only for the greater good of others, you find yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually depleted. And usually no one's pouring back into that cup because they've just been taking from it. So this is about keeping your cup full, right? Keeping your cup full so that when you do decide to open up the boundary, not even open up the boundary, when you decide um, to let others in, whatever that is, if she decides to step over to the other side over here, right? It has to be good for both people, like for both of them. It cannot be just for her greater good because she wants to get something at the expense of the other. People should not be getting things from you at your expense. It should be an equal give and take. And sometimes you will give more but that's only because you filled up your cup and you have it to give if you want to. So for your healing journey, I have boundaries and acceptance, and I think these are good things to have, especially since asking you to start detoxing by picking one or two things that are toxic in your diet and remove them, because as you remove those, you will start to heal. You'll start to heal your pain. You'll start to heal spiritually, because when you are inflamed and you have heart disease and all these other diseases going on, it is hard to be in your purpose and to live in your purpose and um do what it is that you are meant to do on earth, because you're not well. You're not well. How are you supposed to generate wealth for yourself if you're not well? How are you supposed to generate and continue to take care of others? The more you take care of yourself, the more you will be able to take care of others. You don't want to find yourself like falling over or being severely ill and bedridden at an early age, when just because you were overdoing it for a few years. If you give to yourself, you set boundaries, you get your emotional self in order, you'll be able to give when you want to, and you'll know when to give, and you'll be able to give without trying to control the situation and just trusting that what will be and what's meant to be will be. Okay? boundaries. If you want, drop me another comment down below and let me know what boundaries you think that you need to set in order to meet the goal that you're setting for yourself. Okay? All right, Pisces, thank you for joining me today. Until next time, I am sending you love and light.